on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and today I'm here to talk to y'all about this movie called American Fiction, Oscar-winning film, American Fiction, starring Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, John Ortiz, Erica Alexander, Leslie Gomes, Adam Brody, Issa Rae, and Sterling K. Brown. Lit cast, right? Very lit cast. I'm excited about this. Before I get into it, want to remind you guys, go ahead, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch, and yeah, that's it. I named all the social medias wrong. Yeah, and make sure on Twitch you check us out when we do the Last Brick Wall podcast every Thursday night. We didn't do one recently, but we're gonna be doing one. You know, we try to keep up every Thursday night. We try to get there and do stuff, you know, with all the stuff we all have going on individually. But just still make sure you tune in. And even if not for the podcast, I do a lot of gaming over on Twitch. So recently I got into a couple other games that you'll see if you go ahead and follow on Twitch. I'm not about to plug the channel any farther than that. Just go check out the Twitch and subscribe, follow, and drop a comment whenever you're going to watch, because I game a lot. So anyway, now that all that shameless stuff is out the way, let's get to what we're here to talk about, which is American Fiction. So this is an Oscar-winning film, mind you. Let me go ahead and say that. It won the Oscar for writing for the Best Adapted Screenplay, going to Cord Jefferson, who was the writer and director of this here film. The movie is based on a book called Erasure by Percival Everett. I already named the cast. This came out September. This had a premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival back in September of 2023, and it was officially released in the United States in December of 2023. I always remember I heard this movie come up in conversation. I saw like little commercials about it, but I didn't know. I don't think I saw like a full commercial of it, right? Because I think like the advertisements or anything I saw about the film, I thought, oh, it's probably just another period piece about black people, or probably just some type of slave type movie or something. Like I didn't know. Like my impression of this was that it was a more serious film. It was probably gonna be something I wasn't interested in. But boy, was I wrong. Shout out to the Was It Good Though podcast. I watched their review. I watched them talk about this a little bit, and I said, wait a minute. That's not the first time I heard that this movie was something else. Then I saw I got nominated for all these different Oscars. So I was like, wow, what is this? Then I was hearing that it was hilarious. And I said, wait a minute. This cannot be the same movie. I saw I had all black cast. I said, what? What is this movie? So I honestly tried to see this in the theaters, but unfortunately I could not catch a good time with my schedule and everything. I couldn't catch a good time to check it out in the theaters, but I really wanted to, especially after hearing it was an all black cast. Majority black cast, and seeing the actors that were involved in it, and hearing that it was more of a comedy and it was set in modern day and stuff like basically everything that was the opposite of what I thought was this film. So I'm glad I actually finally got to watch it. It's available now on Prime Video, which is where I watched it, of course. And I gotta say, this was such a good film. This was really good. So for those of you who don't know what this movie's about, this movie follows Jeffrey Wright's character, who his name is Thelonious Monk Ellison, but people call him Monk. So Monk is a frustrated novelist who's fed up with the establishment that profits from black entertainment that relies on tired and offensive tropes, much like myself. To prove his point, rather, he uses a pen name to write an outlandish black book of his own, a book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and the madness he claims to disdain. That is only a portion of what this movie is about, though, because so this movie kind of starts off, Monk, he's a teacher, he's a professor, and he goes off with a student. So like the university is like, yo, just go take some time in your hometown, just relax, just get your mind right, and you come back, whenever you're ready. And so when he goes back to his hometown, he kind of, he gets back into interacting with his family, catches up on things, learns about different things. Tragedy strikes. And so, he has to deal with that. And it's just so many different things he has to deal with. And then he also finds out that his book isn't really selling well. because there's a new author out, played by Issa Rae, and she writes a book that is, I can only say, a kid precious. I've never read, but just like, like with the like all the English, what these have a second. What the heck? And I'm back because my laptop died in the middle of me doing this review. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's what happens when you do these things. I ever mentioned that I do all my reviews live, like on the spot. So when you're watching me do a review, I'm doing it live at the time that I'm recording. So then when you watch it again back, then it's like, it's like previously on. So I'm like the Today Show of reviews when I do reviews, which is why I always take a lot of gas, because it's like I'm doing this on the spot. But my laptop died. So yeah. So if you're still here, thank you for sticking it out. I'm gonna like drop a timestamp in the comments or something like that and say, "Yo, skip here because laptop dies here." But that said, where was I with this review? Yeah, so tragedy strikes in his family. I'm talking about American Fiction for those of you who don't know. I'm talking about American Fiction. I'm talking about the movie American Fiction. So, and I'm talking about specifically when Monk, the main character played by Jeffrey Wright, goes back home after being sent on a leave of absence from his job as a professor at a college after he has an incident with a student. So, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, tragedy strikes there, and he's kind of just like getting back used to his family, helping his family out. You meet his sister, played by Tracy Ellis Ross, and his brother, played by Sterling K. Brown. His mother, played by Leslie Uggams. And then they have like a house worker, like a kind of like a maid, but I don't know who plays her right now. But yeah, no. So like I say, he goes, and it's pretty much a lot of the movies just him. Just kind of reconciling a bit with his family and just dealing with the family troubles. And on top of that, he has written a book that is kind of like a satire, like I mentioned earlier in the plot synopsis, that's kind of like a satire of works like Precious and stuff like that, where it's like kind of like capitalizing on Black struggle. He writes that after a newer author played by Issa Rae writes a book that is exactly that. So he pretty much just decides to, under a pen name, kind of parody that work. It gets him a lot of acclaim and attention. Of course, he has to pretend that he's this pen name person, so he has to go through a whole bunch of stuff with that, and that's pretty funny. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I do recommend you watch this, but he has to pretend to be the person that wrote the book. He has to pretend to be the pen name that he picked for the book. So it's really interesting just seeing how, and then like eventually the book ends up getting like nominated for an award and all that stuff. And so just kind of seeing him kind of go through kind of trying to figure out, why does this book get so much attention? Why do people like works like this? Why don't they like when why do they only want to see Black struggles? Which is a question that a lot of Black people, myself included, ask, like, why does Hollywood only want to see Black struggles? Why do these people only want to watch struggle stories, but they don't want to watch like prestige or profound films? And they do have an answer for that in this movie, somewhat of an answer. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Again, I highly encourage you to watch the film yourself to see exactly what that response to that question is. But there is a valid response, and it kind of made me think. I will be honest, I was actually kind of afraid to review this film after that exchange between Jeffrey Wright's character and Issa Rae's character, where you get the answer to that question, right? I was afraid because I was like, dang, like now I feel like I got to say something profound during my review. But then I remembered, no, I don't. Because, just because, like, simply put, this movie is more than just trying to answer that question. This movie is showing, it's a perfect example of a satire in that regards to me. I have no further point there. I just started rambling a little bit. But some of the things I like about this film are the comedy. I love the comedy. So it'll do what I like a lot of movies to do. It'll have like, and what Marvel does completely wrong. Shots at Marvel all of a sudden. But no, so this movie will have like a really serious moment. One in particular that I cannot spoil. And like in the midst of that moment, there comes a very just a natural moment, but it's so funny because it's just so funny that moment happens. And they do that a lot, where it's like a really kind of serious melodramatic moment, and they find the perfect way to weave like a really nice moment of comedy. And the moment of comedy hinges off of the characters you already know and how they've been interacting and what you know about them so far. And that's where I think that's why I really think those jokes are so strong, because I was on the verge of tears a couple of times. They dropped the joke and said, "Oh, thank God! Oh, because that's so in character for you. Oh, thank you." But it was good. Yeah, it was a really good movie though. I definitely like I said, I definitely enjoyed all the performances in this movie. Just how they represent the family dynamics. None, like Jeffrey Wright's character, Monk never got mad at his brother. He was irritated by his brother, of course, but there was never a moment where he was like, "Oh, you gotta get out of here because I hate you." And like he didn't get like super dramatic. He was like, "Why you always gotta do this? Why?" Like, something like that. So and I think that's more of an accurate depiction of siblings. I don't really have siblings old enough to have that type of like interaction like that with but I would imagine that's very much how that interaction would go. But all in all though, this is a really good movie. Very well deserved of the Oscar award. I wish it would have gotten more Oscars. I know it got a lot of awards during the award circuits and all that, but yeah, this was a great movie. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. Rating wise? This has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Me myself, I give this movie 5 out of 5 stars, honestly, because I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the drama, I enjoyed the comedy, I enjoyed the character interactions. I enjoyed the romantic point in there, which there was a nice romantic plot in there where Monk, he ends up with the woman and everything like that. And even that doesn't really have much of a resolution. You'll see what I mean when you watch the movie. And then towards the end, this movie does something like really, really wacky that that I found very entertaining. I will not spoil. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it was something very, very entertaining. I thought it was really nice. It did make me kind of like recontextualize the film in my head, but at the same time, it was very, very interesting what they did at the end. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Perfect ending. I think as good as it could have been, without being cliche. But yeah, that's it. So I give this movie 5 stars. Check it out. American Fiction, Oscar-winning film. Check it out. It is now available to stream on Amazon Prime. If you have that, so make sure you give it a check out. And if you enjoyed that film, and if you hopped in after my technical difficulty, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, because like I said, I do these things live and on the spot. So when I have an issue, I power through these issues for you, for y'all, because I love y'all. Y'all love me. Right? We all cool, right? But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, or X and Twitch. And until next time, y'all, be easy, stay breezy, stay cool out in this weather, and peace.